Hey everyone, welcome to the AI Amigos Show. I'm with here my good friend Jin Chao. Jin Chao, how are you?
Hi, I'm just practicing the pointing at the moment.
No. So Mr. Jin Chao, Philomath, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, welcome everyone. We have a great show. We've got a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff we want to talk about today. Fun packed show, a lot of content we want to cover. But as Jin Chao said, we are sponsored by Tequila AI. If you need any AI solutions, these are the guys to talk to. So Tequila AI, and then you see, I'm still a principal data scientist. You could say that I'm a data alchemist, but you're a philomath, so you love learning and studying. That would be true, Jinchao.
Yeah. So from now on, every episode, I would change the name. Let's see, my creativity. Then let's see how many names.
I'm looking forward to it, Jinchao. Actually,
maybe there's a certain point in the race I would just go downhill. The name, just crappy name. We don't know.
Maybe we can get everyone voting on the name they like the best to see which one.
Give us a vote.
Well, so let's get on to today's show and what we're going to talk about. Well, first story that we have on deck here is that Anthropic surpasses OpenAI in enterprise adoption.
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, that's it's the first time since the AI race began. More American businesses, and I think in this particular case, are paying for Anthropic's Claude than OpenAI's ChatGPT, and they've hit a 34.4% of business adoption in April 2026 versus OpenAI's only 32.6. So that is a lead that is both historic and fragile. What do you think, Jinsha? That's pretty interesting, right?
Yeah, I think like GPT is late to the game. We can't. It's because Anthropic has go through this from the day one, right? This is their products, so we don't know what's the race gonna be like in the future. Excuse me, but like ChatGPT as well is taking the first bite of the market. Is already go through his business cycle. It knows how to support those business. So Anthropic definitely have advantage. We use Claude Code as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I mean, Claude Code is working really good, but Codex, as we talked before in the last couple of episodes, the Codex is doing much better for coding. But I think, at least for Claude Code, for me, that was the first one that was really, really, really good. That was, I like using the CLI. Maybe people might like using the app or the plugin. I like the CLI because it works directly in there. But what I was going to say is, like last week, Anthropic released as well Claude for Business, where they have agents for business, and then we know they do it for financial services. So they are very much hitting small businesses.
Definitely. That's the key, right? That's the people who wants to use it. And then also as well, Claude Code has this kind of plugin you can put into the IDE, like Microsoft Code or something like that. But GPT, like Codex, doesn't have that at the moment. Am I correct? Yeah, because
no, it does not have it. It has the plugin into the IDE. I've not used it. I've seen it, but I've not used it. They had an old one, but it wasn't a ChatGPT one. It wasn't a Codex one. Yeah, but I did download the Codex app, and I've been using that a bit, and that's working pretty good. And then using the CLI as well, it works pretty well.
Oh, they have terminal CLI as well, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I didn't use it. I mean, like this is the thing for developers now. You finally get everything set up in Claude Code. You get your skill, you get your hoops, you get all the things you set up, and then you're gonna move. It's just pretty hard, isn't it?
It is, and equally like for me, when I use like Claude Code, and anytime anything new comes out, that I see stuff like on TikTok or you see, you get your news feed, things like that. and I'll just say I'll get the GitHub link, or I'll ask Claude directly, say, my workflow based on what I'm working.
Yeah.
Does this fit or does it not fit? And if it does, how does it fit? And then it will come back and tell you. So I think trying to move from that to an OpenAI is going to be tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think a lot of those validation we see people posting about on YouTube says a lot of people says Codex is better. It's because they just simply going to building a website, building some app with little instruction or with the same instruction. Here the result, but there is a level of day-to-day as well, right? Once you set up, like you have cron jobs running at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, you already implemented those skills or agents inside each of the code folder or repo or whatever, right? So if you want to change for business, that's quite a lot of change, and then you have to adapt on everyone's computer, right? When you put it into the folder, and the other developer can use that skill and knows how to do it and what's the standard or all that, you can do that right in the Claude Code. So when you change to Codex, it's just brand new. It's kind of, to me, it's kind of like you setting up the stuff in AWS. Now Azure or Google is cheaper, and that a lot of company moved. It's that kind of choice now, I think.
Well, I know for myself anyway, I got an email from Claude. They were saying they were allowing double usage to the end of June or something like that. And I think there was, because remember when they introduced they still have the windows, but they started changing the way the tokens were calculated, and people were hitting usage limits very, very quickly. Yeah. And I think they're doing this to kind of make up for that kind of screw up.
Mm-hmm.
But they're saying they saw Dario Amodi said that Amodi says, I don't know how you pronounce the surname, says he saw 80 times growth in revenue and usage for Q1 226, where they only plan for a 10x growth.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's a big thing, right? I mean, that's where, having outages and rate limits and quality complaints and, well, now we see that. Now we talked about last week a bit as well, that they made a deal with SpaceX.
Yeah.
Using the Colossus One data center in Memphis. So that can help a lot.
Yeah, that's actually instant connected in. So they are already providing service. Musk is already providing that to them now. I think AWS was committed to invest on the infrastructure with Claude as well, with Anthropic. So there's a much larger investment coming, but it's in stages, right? But I mean, Musk's infrastructure, Colossus One data center is definitely instant help. So they already double the quotas for everyone, and the token limits. You don't have that kind of limits, hitting that limits very quite often as before now. So yeah, it definitely helps.
Well, I mean, here's a Gallup poll that was very interesting. In February 2026 survey of 23,717 U.S. employees found that only 50% of employed Americans now use AI at work at least a few times a year. Which that's wow, right? To me, that's a very low number, meaning that they only use it a few times a year. That means that the other half don't use it at all. 13% use it on a daily basis. That's a very low number. And 28% use it a few times a week. But only 1 in 10 employees at AI adopting companies say AI has transformed how work gets done. And that's something that we talked about, right, Jinsha, about how engineers are not seeing the big, particularly I think in the junior space, was it that they're not seeing that productivity jump. I know for me, I've got a huge jump from my day-to-day work. Would you agree with the same for yourself, Jinsha, that AI has really helped you in your work day-to-day, should I say?
Yeah, making things faster, especially when you wanted to do some automation, when you wanted to troubleshooting, going through the logs, all that. I don't use the traditional way. Like I code a bit, but not that complex code. It just helped me different ways, and it's definitely a lot quicker than just searching internet and give me ideas and all that. I would say so, yeah. But the whole AI so far, the Claude Code and Codex and all that is aiming for IT people, right? Other people might
white collar workers, as I say, yeah.
The other part of population might find not useful at all. Like I told my wife, you can do this, you can search that, you don't need a Googling, and she doesn't use it. And I was trying to use like notebook LM for my daughter to help her to prepare the exam. She doesn't really want it. She liked to just go through the papers and what she wrote. So yeah, they're so resistant for sure there. Yeah.
That's interesting. AI adoption is an interesting one, and I mean, here looking at there's a use case here on Uber, and the cost problem. So apparently, looking at adoption there, right? But Anthropic success is creating its own problems. Uber's chief technical officer revealed that the company burned through its entire 2026 AI budget in just 4 months, largely in Claude Code and Cursor, and individual engineers are costing between $500 to $200 per month in API calls. So adoption at Uber jumped from 32 to 84% of engineers in a matter of months. That's roughly 70% of committed code at Uber now comes from AI. So you see how that's coming in, but it's burned through their budget. And as you're saying, like your wife and daughter, and like I would say my wife as well to a certain extent. Like I know my son, he's a software developer, and they're not allowed to use AI at all, like zero. The organization where he works at, it's very sensitive stuff. So I mean, the adoption of AI, I mean, that's because of restriction. But I think that's additional, as you're saying, that there could be some people that don't want to do it. And like the other day, I was trying to do something like, I want to read something, or like you got a paper or you got a book that you want to look through in a couple of chapters. I uploaded that into Notebook LM, had it make it into a podcast. And then when I went to the gym, I just listened to the podcast.
Yeah.
So, and it's great because you're learning from that content rather than, and it's saying like, here I am at the gym doing 20 minutes on the elliptical machine and I'm listening and I'm learning, you know what I mean? So, I mean, it's a really good tool, but I guess, what you say, there's not full adoption there. And how do we get more people to adopt it? I don't know.
I don't know either. It just doesn't. It's just something that they can have or they can live without the same time. So it doesn't affect a lot of those people out there. So yeah.
Okay, well, now onto more drama, onto our next story there. But Musk and the Altman trial, pretty much everything we found that Musk lost, right? But stuff that wasn't covered there. They walked into the federal courtroom in Oakland, California, and it was whether OpenAI betrayed its nonprofit mission. So that's been in the news. But the real story was in the hundreds of court filings from the preceding 6 months, texts, emails, Slack messages, and then even Greg Brockman's private diary entries that made it to the public record, which is so it's like, the corporate litigation lawyers summed it up and said, we're about to witness the landing of the Hindenburg on the deck of the Titanic. Just so much, right?
Yeah, it's quite a lot. That diary is very controversial, right? About I just gonna make 1 billion. How do I make 1 billion or 10 billion? What was the number? But really big.
Well, one of the big things that was revealed, I don't know if you see, but was whether Musk was on ketamine at Burning Man in 2017, whether it impaired the business conversation. And the judge ruled some of this as admissible and some of it was excluded. But the drug use angle is part of the broader picture of Musk's state of mind during key decisions. And I mean, I know that he is a big ketamine user. I mean, this is not a secret, right?
Yeah.
But he uses business.
I think in the closing, the reason the jury was saying is because basically it says Musk is claimed this too late, isn't it? Kind of.
Yeah, that's how I was talking to a common friend of ours today, Paul, and he was saying to me that he said if he was Elon Musk, he would have been really angry because like you paid, how much money did he pay to his solicitors, and at the end, like, the solicitor couldn't go look, oh, this is statute of limitation, it's it's run out of time. So the judge goes and says that, but he spent all this money and all this drama and everything like that. You know what I mean? So that's very, very interesting. Yeah.
But at least they know right now. They know who OpenAI, the company, is now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's it. I mean, we see between Brockman and Altman that they basically betrayed it.
Yeah.
The nonprofit mission.
I know lately, I think Brockman and Altman, they all invested into a chip company, which just IPO'd a couple of days ago.
You think any inside information there?
Yeah, some name as a C something something. They both it was just IPO'd.
Well, I wonder if there was some insider information there. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what when they started OpenAI journey, the OpenAI promised to buy the chips from them, and then those two persons are invested in that company as well. So the direct beneficiaries of if it's IPO'd. So that's the thing. They're not making OpenAI. They're making money from somewhere else.
Well, that is an interesting point. Yeah, I mean, because
I forgot the name of it. It's something C something. It's brought up in this trial as well as the buying chips from them, the guarantee buying chips from them.
Okay.
And as a guaranteed. But anyway, everything is too late now for Musk, and the trial is done now. But that's only the first one. Yeah, you never know what Musk would do next. Maybe you just wanted to try again or something. You can do that, can you? If you're not
agree. I mean, if it's already past the statute of limitation, then there's nothing you can do, right?
Oh, yeah.
But they're going to need to find another angle, another way, and his solicitor should have spotted that from the beginning and gone a different angle.
I thought you can go to a higher court. Maybe that's the highest.
No. Once the statute of limitation is over, it's over. I mean, that has to be changed. That's legislative, which means that has to go to lawmakers to make a change in the statute of limitation law.
Okay.
So either you change the law or you find another way to sue. Yeah, basically.
That's my name today, Philomas. I'm learning.
There you go. Well, I mean, maybe his whole point was embarrassing them in regards to saying that they're greedy people and blah, blah, blah. That maybe that's all he wanted to do, and he's okay with spending all the money doing that. So,
but doesn't matter. Like, everyone invested just want money. It doesn't really care, probably.
Yeah. Well, the next story that we have on there, which ties in with this one, is the AI, bubble. Well, in this case, we're not going to use the word bubble, but is the AI stock rally losing steam? So, and banks like Goldman Sachs and Citibank are both warning that the AI stock rally may be overextended, and which is always the case in the markets. The pendulum always swings too far. But really, what's interesting is if you look at the S&P 500 gains, 85% of that was tech, and then you got to wonder, is it overweighted in tech?
Yeah. What do you call the Mag 7?
What's that?
The Mag 7, the biggest Mega 7, or this is a term they call it.
They're always coming up with new terminology. It's hard to keep up.
Yeah, it's the biggest 7 companies, right?
Yeah, the Magnificent 7.
All right, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's a play on words because there was a movie called The Magnificent Seven, which these 7 cowboys saved a town and blah, 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 blah.
But for our audience, it's interesting as well. Is it yesterday or today? The quarterly report will come off on NVIDIA. I think that's very, very important.
Yeah.
Report. It depends on the report. It can carry the weight of a whole AI stocks at the moment.
That's exactly what it's doing. But then you have other companies like CoreWeave. They became the poster child for AI infrastructure overextension, where after reporting their earnings, the stock tanked just under 20%, and they missed expectations.
Yeah, and since we're talking about stock, I heard something. I was doing some news. There's news come out from Korea. It's quite funny. And this person is related to AI stock as well. This person had a jail sentence. He has to go into the jail. So before going to the jail, he bought this transformer company, produced transformers. Like what we said last time, it's not the transformers, but it's for
not the robots. Yeah, the robots in the sky. Yeah,
for transform the electrics, from high voltage to low voltage or something to the AI data center. So he invested in this company right before he go to the jail, just put the money in, and he go through the 3-year sentence and come out now, and his stocks roasted 10,000%.
Wow!
Just because AI is pure. There was people were saying like, is there really is going to jail bad luck? I don't know. Maybe it's good luck.
Well, equally, you could have bought the stock and not gone to jail.
Yeah, but that's just one in the. I don't know what's the odds, So.
Yeah, fair enough. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the real question now, looking at what the AI, and we talked about this before, but what Wall Street is asking is, both Amazon and Alphabet or Google are projecting nearly $400 billion in combined AI infrastructure spend in 2026 alone. So when do investors actually see any returns, and what's the gap between what AI is real and what AI is fairly priced stocks? And I think, the thing about the market, I'll tell you, it's always the case. The market, like I said, the pendulum swings, too far in either directions. People buy too much and people sell too much. And so, I think this is just a story where that you can apply to any stock that's out there.
I think all the large company already using AI, right, in some extent. Do they want to doubling down the usage? I mean, look at the previous news, right? Uber is already developers using $2,000, right? How much more can you use? If you use more, that's someone's salary. Do you know what I mean? Like $3,000 or $4,000. I'm not sure about in America, but that's a junior developer, right, or something like that.
That's exactly right. I mean, and the thing is like, could you do the work with not having to, you could do the same work with what with that without having, the AI. You're saying, when you start doing a cost benefit analysis is what I'm trying to say here. Is that
also not just that, for a long-term company, you have to think about the growth perspective as well. Like the junior developer is not going to be junior all the time.
That's right.
And then it's going to be senior and knows more. His head is better racked than anybody. It's better than any AI system, right? Our brain is running 20, 40 watt, and you can feed him 2 pieces of bread. It can work all day. So it's a different story.
It is absolutely is, yeah.
And then does the LLM can achieve that? I have no doubt it will increase, but we see the pricing increase as well from GPT-3 to 3.4, to 4 to 5 now, 5.2. You see the token price enter it's crazy. Like $1 million is $5 for input and 25 for output or something like that. So the price is
organizations feel like they don't want to be left out. The FOMO, like I better buy in because my competitor's using it, or they're going to beat me because they're using AI. And so there's a lot of money that's going to that, and that's a big concern. You know what I mean? Like you're putting a lot of money to this, but are you actually getting anything back for it? It's what we're saying, right? And that's the whole point in business, right? When you have business, you want to make profits, and if you start dumping a bunch of money into something and you're not getting anything back from it, and I mean, you can have a delayed profit, but you're not going to last very long.
The only thing it works is probably a full agentic company. Like those are agentic AI can improve all that. But just for people to use like Claude Code to help the coding and all that, I think those companies will hit the bottleneck. You can't scale because you don't have that many people to control the Claude Code. You still have to hire people to control the Claude Code. So the only way I say it is totally agentic. There's really little employee or employee enough to view the decisions agentic make and all that. Otherwise, I don't see it.
Yeah, well, there's a Google event that's going on now. Speaking of full agentic, Jinchao, and I know I sent you a link there in regards to Gemini Spark, which is supposed to be full agentic, which seems that it's going to be it's going to be exactly what you're saying there.
Yeah.
What is that? Google I/O to 2026. That's the one there. The I/O, that's the big event, and they've announced it's not released yet. They're going to release it to certain people, and then they don't, and you have to be an ultra user.
Yeah, that's good.
Are we ultra users, Jinchao? Should we be?
I don't know. We should be able to. We haven't get our Vero from the OpenAI subscription, and then they're gone. Vero, not Vero, sorry, Sora. So the Sora is gone now. So
yeah,
we tend to be a bit too late for things.
It's just too fast, and then and then oh, I didn't even get to test it. Yeah, but you got like the Pro, the Max, now the Ultra. Like they have all these subscription names, and all it means is just charge you more money.
Yeah, I know.
So. Well, the last story, we talked a little bit about the release of ChatGPT, but the last story we have on deck here is the Trump-Xi summit. No AI breakthrough. Did I pronounce the name correctly? Is it Xi?
Xi.
Xi? Xi? Okay.
Not Xi. Xi.
Xi? Xi?
Like sheets. Xi.
Xi? Okay. Xi? You're gonna have to bear with me, Jinchao. You know what?
Like Xi. Google like Xi, not Xi.
All right, fair enough. Xi. Okay. So they met in Beijing for a 2-day summit, and they basically, everyone was expecting from the conversation was going to be what? Tariffs, Taiwan, and trade, and got all of that, of course, but AI was barely even discussed on the agenda. I know he was talking about what's his name?
This is quite interesting as well. Like in China, the news report, this is a big again. Like a lot of important people from America visit China, right? Especially president as well. But on the news page, the front page, and Trump isn't there.
Really?
Yeah, it was on the side.
Oh, so basically saying he's not important.
The front page was some kind of international agreement or something like that from a different country. We announced something with them or something, but Trump is on the side. It wasn't on the front page of the newspaper. So
there you go.
Yeah.
So apparently there was nothing important there.
And then there was, like Trump left now, right? You see the new news, Putin just arrived as well.
And is he on the front page?
I don't know. I don't read it.
Let's see if he was. But apparently he brought a bunch of guys with him. It wasn't just Trump. He brought Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Tim Cook, Jensen Huang from NVIDIA. He brought David Solomon from Goldman Sachs. Larry Fink from BlackRock. So he brought a bunch of important people with him. Did they make the front page? I wonder.
No, the whole thing. But the kind of political newspaper didn't make that the first time. You're supposed to announce those kind of thing is big, right? But there's plenty of videos and talk about they're in China, how they're doing and everything, for sure. Okay. And then Putin is there now at the moment, I think. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, the AI race is there, and it's definitely running. So it'll be interesting how this all plays out.
Yeah, I mean, China right now is probably the only one has enough energy, other than Europe, or maybe France has it enough, and Middle East you can't really put anything there now, right? I don't know.
Well, a lot of those data centers now, they're coming with those mini
Generator
reactors, the mini,
reactors.
yeah, the mini reactors, and they're starting to do that because to build the entire infrastructure up, I think would be very, very costly to build. New power grid, new this, new
Yeah.
power plants, and if you can just say, well, look, we'll give you a small nuclear reactor that you can use to
Uh-huh.
power up, your power plant. Apparently, that's a solution that they've been using. Now that's in
Yeah.
the U.S. Europe is not.
Oh, I don't think Europe will pass that at all. The people will
No,
protest, right?
no, no,
100%.
no, no.
And yeah, and I so many horror stories about nuclear, right? But
Yeah,
remember, it's all 1970s or earlier. The technology have improved quite a bit, and a lot of those problems is basically human errors. So I have
it's
to
a
look
small
back.
modular reactor, is what it's called,
Yeah,
which is a vital solution. So basically, it's generating between 5 megawatts to 300 megawatts, and it's
just
basically.
imagine. I was just on the side. Just imagine people working in the data center now. You have to have one of those nuclear reactor. Those suits on.
The suits on and everything. Yeah. What if you have a meltdown? What happens then? Yeah. Yeah.
Probably not the case. I would just have that image in my head. I was just thinking like really funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what they're doing because it's going to cost a lot of money to do the infrastructure, and that's a
Hmm.
cheap, I guess, a quick way of doing it rather than building the infrastructure. So it was just interesting that they didn't talk about that because you would have thought that that would be a big item on the agenda, and that wasn't really talked about. And particularly when
Yeah.
you see like AIs being used everywhere now.
Yeah.
And I mean, and what I mean by that, I mean like in the military as well, not just in business. And so you would have thought that would have been some discussion around that. Anyway,
Yeah. Like I didn't get too much news out from China what they discussed. Did you know any news what they
the only thing
discussed?
I heard was that what was it? He called it the Tysidius. What's it called? Not the Tysidius. That's the wrong word. Hold
Hmm.
on. Basically, that she said, I hope I said that right.
Hmm.
She said that if the U.S. and China could avoid that, hold on, China and USA avoid. Now, what's it called? He was saying Thucydides was basically a Greek philosopher that had said, I'm just trying to get his, and I know if anyone who's Greek's listening to this know that I'm sorry for pronouncing it wrongly, but basically she said that to Trump that if they could avoid this Thucydides dilemma, which was that when there's a superpower and then another superpower comes and what's inevitable is war, and he's like,
Hmm.
could we avoid this? So
Hmm.
basically, he's saying to Trump, we are a superpower. That's
Hmm.
basically what he's saying. And he's saying, so you're a superpower, we're a superpower now. How do we avoid going to war? That's what I saw in the news from that.
Hmm.
So that's the only news I saw. Because I mean, and then I was talking to someone about that as well, and saying, well, Russia and the United States didn't go to war. They didn't go to work directly, But anyway, that's going into a whole other ball of wax. But that was what came. That was what the news was coming out of China. So it'll be interesting. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this whole thing doesn't. I don't feel like it has a lot of um, exposure on news or anything like that. It just feels like it's quiet visit, but this is all those people visit there. They're like really important people from US, right? But like it
yeah,
just seems
didn't
like
make the big. Didn't make like until right now when I looked at this, I didn't
yeah,
know that all these CEOs went there. I thought it was just Trump.
yeah, didn't make the wave at all. Let's read it through. We have Tim Cook one, right? Elon Musk for sure. Elon Musk has like
Mhm.
full self-driving. It hasn't been proved in China yet. So like there's a first case in Netherlands now in Europe, right? So
Yeah,
that was it. So that's the kind of reason I haven't bought Tesla yet. If Tesla does that in Ireland, I would totally buy it, because you don't get the same kind of one in like what you get in US. And the next person is Jensen Huang, right? NVIDIA for sure, right? And David Solomon from Goldman Sachs, Larry Fink, BlackRock, and Gina Fraser, Citibank, is that?
Yeah.
And Steven Schwarzman, Blackstone.
Schwarzman. Yeah.
Butcher names now, just like you butcher the.
Exactly. I'm just trying, Jinsha. I'm trying. All right.
And then Kelly Altberg for Boeing.
Boeing, yeah.
Yeah, and plus Meta, Visa, Cisco, Qualcomm, and Micron, and GE Aerospace, and Coherent. Yeah, MasterCard. All those people went into China. So.
And yet it wasn't really talked about in the news, you know?
No, that's what I'm surprised about.
Yeah.
You know, I guess the Western media didn't have much to report news on it. Like, it didn't really get any good news.
Yeah, there was no major headline as such. Like, there was no major decision. There was no major,
Yeah. Well. Anyway.
Okay, well, we've come to the end of our show. I want to thank everyone that's joined us. I've seen, thank you. There was a couple of comments there, but nothing major. But remember, we are sponsored by Tequila AI. So if you guys need any AI solutions, those are the guys that talk. You're close. You're there. And okay. So we'll see you next week. And thanks, Inshao. Great show as always. And we'll see you guys next week. Have a great one.
Bye now, guys.